month. Krista.
They're trying, the blue pentagon numbers are triangular numbers.
They are triangular numbers, so what does that mean if they're triangular numbers? Jillian.
If you have another row that has one more dot in each.
Okay. So, Allie, you were explaining it all month really well. What did you say?
1 adds the 2 plus equals 3. 3 adds the 3 equals 6. 6 adds the 4 equals 10. 10 adds the 5 equals 15. And so next time it's going to be 15 to add to 6 equals 21.
You're correct. All right. So, how much will we deposit today? Since today is the 18th. Cassie, your number is 22. Come on up. How much will we deposit?
18,000.
All right. Well, we need to go to the yellow, please. Look at Cassie's total and see if that's what you came up with as the daily deposit. All right. Who can read that number for us? Abby? Okay. What if we round this number, Nathan, to the nearest thousand? What would it round to?
It would round to
The nearest thousand. Round to 327,000. Very good. Who remembers how we know what to do with our rounding? Jonathan? Perfect. Thank you, Cassie. Today is our 147th day of school. So who can tell me what we're going to put up for our multiples, marking our multiples? Sophia P. Okay. She said that 1 plus 4 plus 7 equals 12, and since 3 can go into 12, anything else? Matthew.
7 because 147 divided by 7 equals
9. All right. And we check that one by dividing, just like Matthew said. All right, today for our coin counter. Allie, your coin counter today. Today we're purchasing a ball, or balls, 23 cents for one, so you need to decide how many we can purchase with our $1.47. always, she says that we can purchase 6 of them. I see mostly thumbs up. How much change does she say we have left over? Colin?
9. No.
9 cents. Does that show 9 cents?
That's 90 cents.
Okay, we need to do what to make that show 9 cents? So Abby was the only one I think that caught that because she was the one that didn't have her thumb all the way up. She was kind of going in between.
You don't need to switch yours.
Go ahead, Allie. Remember how to write 9 cents? There you go. Perfect. All right, 9 cents. Who can read that as a decimal? 0.09. How do we say that as a decimal? Kristen, do you remember? Abby? 900. Very good. Okay. Thank you, Allie. Matthew, you're going to do the clock today. He's drawing that on there. What time is it right now? You can tell us. 9:23. What are we doing today with our date and the time? Landon? It's at 18 hours. So Matthew went on ahead. He had that figured up. So we're checking to see if he's correct. If he adds 18 hours, what will he come up with? Okay, is that going to be AM or PM, Matthew?
Oh.
What are you writing up there? April the 19th. Why is it April the 19th? Krista?
Because it's already morning and it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right, if we go around 18 hours, it'll be 3 o'clock the next day, right? What would you be doing at 3:23 a.m., Jonathan?
I'll be reading.
You'd be reading at 3:23 a.m.?
Yeah.
What would you be doing, Collis?
Sleeping and waking up in about 3 hours.
Okay, most of you are probably sleeping.
Sleeping.
All right.
4 hours.
Okay, let's go ahead and go on to our fraction. Thank you, Matthew. Number 27. All right, our eyes should be up on the fraction, and we are looking to see what our fraction will be for today. Raise your hand when you're ready to help Anna out. She'll call someone. any others? All right, so 10 eggs, and then we simplified. What did we need to do to simplify 10 12? Sophia?
Divide by 2.
Divide by 2. All right, thank you. All right, next up we're going to have Ryan come up and do the perimeter. Just raise your hand and he'll call on somebody when he gets up here. Today, since it's the 18th, we are doing rectangles or squares that have a perimeter of 18. So what do you think one would be? And Ryan has him here. He'll be able to see it. Call on somebody.
A row of 8.
Nathan. If we want to find the area of that one, what would be the area? And how did you figure that? Okay, so what would if we wrote out our little formula for area, what would our number sentence be? If you went length times width, so 8 times the 1. All right, another perimeter.
2 by 7. What is the area of the... How did you figure that? 2 times 7 is 14, all right? Another shape we're going to put up? 4 by 5.
Okay. Who has the area for that one? There's one more.
3 by 6.
The area for the 3 by 6. That's correct. All right, so we have 4 different shapes there that all have the same perimeter, but none of them have the same area, do they? Yes, one of them does, but they don't always, do they? This one has the same perimeter in the same area, so the same distance around as what's in the center. All right, we are going to head back to our seats now, so listen when I call you're going to be working with decimal point number 1. All right, so I made a copy of a number line for each of you, some practice ones for us to look at. All right. If you look at this first number line up here, how many sections is it divided into? No, not 10. 10. Remember, when we did our fractions, did we count that first mark? No, we have to count each of the others. So there are 10 little sections. If you count the spaces, you should get 10. Why do you think our number line of fractions is divided into tens? Right, we talked about tens. So what we're going to do is we're going to, the first one's going to be a 0. So are getting smaller because remember where our whole numbers are this way, right? Here's 0. So what would be our first mark? That would show what? 1/10. So we would write, like we said, 0.1. Did you? Just like that. Go ahead and see if you can finish up that number line. Okay, now this is 9/10, then we're going to have 10/10. Understand how that works? It looks like we got it. We just got a little bit confused there at the end, and not all of you got confused there. But so sometimes we'll have number lines where it just deals with the tenths, but then sometimes we'll have the hundredths. So I wanted to show you one, and I thought it would be easier maybe to see some of them on here. So look at this one. Look at the one that is the second number line down for just a minute. And when you look at this one, the second number line down, it starts with what number? So how do we read that in decimal thought?
5/10.
5/10. All right. So before we start just numbering in 6/10, 7/10 like we did, we have to look at the rest of the number line. What do you notice about the rest of this number line?
The half is 0.55.
Okay.
I mean,
so
55 100s.
5,500. Okay. So we have to look at that and see what they're dividing this number line into. So if this is 55 hundredths, and what's the number line end at? 6/10. Or what did you say? 60 hundredths. So that kind of helps us. Remember we talked yesterday about 6/10 and 60 hundredths, that they're called equivalent. Okay. So we want to count and see what we would put in this little box here. So we have to think. We're going from 5/10 to 55 hundredths. What do you think would go in this box? Anybody have an idea?
This could be 10, this could be 15.
Okay, Sophia? 52 hundredths. How do you get 52 hundredths? Can you share with us? Very good. All right. Do you see how she got that column?
Oh, this is 50.
Right, we talked about that yesterday. You guys told me this is the same thing as 60 hundredths, so this is the same thing as what? 50 hundredths. So go ahead and put, if you want to mark them all, you can, but the ones in the little box, they have that because there's a riddle for us to solve. And it's only going to be the ones that, that's where they're going to put the letters that help us. So if you want to put them underneath it, and then there's, you've got to find the letter. So if we find, we said 52 hundredths. So if you find 52 hundredths up here in the little rectangle, what letter are you going to place there?
Y.
Y. Okay, so you now try to do the other two in that row.
Can you solve the riddle?
So you're going to do here in just a minute. I just want to make sure you understand it. Go ahead and do the whole row, Colin. So some of you are writing them out, and that's okay. If you need to write it out, you can write it out. If you can figure it out and just write the letter, then that's fine too. And Sophia did both. Very good. All right, so some of these on today's skill sheet that you're going to be working on, you have to look at the whole thing before you start numbering it to make sure that you see what you're counting by. Because sometimes we'll count by tenths, like we did on the little practice one here. Sometimes we'll be counting by hundredths. Okay? So why don't you try the first row. See what's divided by? You can see what this is. So if it's starting at 0, think how many it takes to get over to. What is this number? 5/10. Okay, so what should go here? And look what it's going to end with. 2. Okay. I think Sophia's got it. You want to go ahead and try the other two? You get it? Okay. And Colin? Looks like you've got it.
Like the same thing as the first.
Okay, but there's different boxes, aren't there? So you have to find out, and that helps you. You've already written all your numbers there, so it helps you by doing that, so you can look at it.
Oh, I think I already had to do it.
Okay, well then don't share that. So everybody's a chance. These were pretty basic. Turn over to the back side of your sheet, and this is your little challenge for today. Your challenge for today, I'll take these because we're going to use them over with another group. Your challenge for today is this. We are going to be looking at these number lines, and these number lines, what do you notice about these number lines? Well, they do have letters, but we're not looking at the letters. We're looking at, like it says up here, decimal number lines. So what do you notice about how they're divided up? Do you notice anything that's different from the other side that we did? Logan.
It goes all the way up to 2 instead of just 1.
Right. So we have a lot more numbers that it's representing, don't we? So when we look at this, and we see the first one here, they said letter C is going to be, who can read that decimal? Naranjan. 3/800. So C is at 3/800. So we have to think, we know that's 3/800. Look, Anna's writing it right there on the line. That's going to help her out because when she's going along with this, she's going to be able to know that, how to use it as a comparing. All right. If you look at all of these, do you see any that are less than the 3/800? What do you think, Colin?
2500.
Okay, so let's look at the other two marks here, and which one do you think would be 2500? A or B?
I think B.
What do you think, Colin? Look at where A and where B.
A.
Why do you think it's A?
Because there's another. Oh, wait, never mind. I think it's B.
Why do you think it's B?
Because there's a number that's lower than that.
Okay. There is a number that's lower than that, so you're thinking maybe that's A. Let's look at the one that's lower than that. What's the one that's lower than that? How do you read that, Logan? 200. Is 200 less than 2,500? Yeah, so I think you're right, that I think it is going to be A. So you can go down there and mark that on your sheet. Why don't you see if you can find D, E, and F? What is it important to know about D, E, and F? Look where they're placed on the number line, and what's something that's important to know about that? They are, but what are they all less than? 1. That is correct. They're all less than 1. So see if you can do D, E, and F. Stop it there, please.
Found it.
Make sure you let one another see what they are, so when you turn them over.
Yes, this. Okay, no. I can actually do 9 seconds. Yeah, 9. Yes. Oh yeah. Eight is 56. 8 times 9 is 72. 6 times 7 is 40. Is 42. 8 times 6 is 50. No, 48. 8 times 7 is 56. 7 times 7 is 49. Is 49. 7 times 8 times 9 times 7 is 63. 7 times 6 is 42, 7 times 7 is 49, 8 times 7 is 56, 8 times 7 is 56, 8 times 7 is 56, 5 times 4 is 20, 8 times 7 is 56, 7 times 7 is 49, 7 times 8 is 56, 7 times 8 is 56.
Today we're going to be working with our number lines and a decimal. Remember that we've done this before with fractions, so today we're going to put it to use with a decimal. So I want you to look at this first number line up here, and I want you to see how many parts it's divided into. How many parts is that number line divided into? Jonathan? 10. Why do you think it's divided into 10 parts?
The username, yeah.
Since we're doing decimals, what's your little hint? Okay, for tenths, yeah, because halfway, and Jonathan pointed out